wrong end of the first Utility Super League table. But their first wins of 2015 came last weekend. So it won't be long, you'd imagine, before Huddersfield and Castleford climb the table. Wigan here will go 5th. The teams then are confirmed and they line up like this. Huddersfield significantly welcomed back Irish international fullback Scott Griggs last week, and he contributed fully to the win over Widnes. Danny Brough did likewise. The 2013 Man of Steel remains a Giants key figure. Jamie Ellis faces the team he left behind. Up front, the news that Sean Lunt has been lent out to Hull KR for the rest of the season means Luke Robinson's return is a timely one. He has been rested for the past 2 weeks. And it's a big night for Craig Hubie, the man who had 11 years with his hometown Tigers. It'll be strange, he says, lining up against them for the first time. And on the bench, Earl Crabtree started and scored last week. He drops down, as does Okuma Tai, with Josh Johnson making his first appearance of the season in place of Anthony Mullally, who doesn't make it this week. Well, Castleford stunned Wigan with that 42 points to 14 win, but it came at a cost. Captain Michael Shenton dislocated his shoulder, and so he'll be out for a while. Michael Channing is the man to replace him. Justin Carney is Super League's top try scorer after 4 rounds. 6 tries in all, he has scored in all 4. Up front, Andy Lynch missed his first game of the season against Wigan, but he's straight back into the side this week. And Scott Moore didn't feature last weekend. He replaces Adam Milner at hooker. And the only change on the bench sees Matt Cook drop down after starting at prop last week. He's made way for Andy Lynch. Brian Boyle doesn't make it here. So the Huddersfield Giants, they finished 3rd last year. Castleford finished 4th. Tonight, as we say, they begin in the bottom 4th, the two of them. Huddersfield 11th. This Castleford Tigers team are 9th. Off the mark, like Huddersfield against Wigan last week. A sobering thought, though. We've had 24 games so far in 2015, and we've only seen the away fans celebrating victory on 7 occasions. So they've got something to turn around, but with this vociferous lot behind them, Steve-O, Castleford, after the win last week against Wigan, they will believe anything is possible.
Certainly will, Eddie, and of course Paul Anderson is fully aware of that. The confidence going through this Castleford outfit must be absolutely amazing. Luke Dawn will be the captain tonight in the absence of Michael Shenton, and he will certainly lead by example. He was outstanding against the Warriors last week, of course. Huddersfield, they'll be happy that also they've got some of their best players back, Scott Griggs. But Luke Robinson holds the big key. I always feel that when Robinson plays for the Giants, that he takes a lot of responsibility away from Danny Brough. Danny Brough can be upset. You can make him go a little bit sour. And if he spits the dummy, then sometimes he forgets one thing that he's paid for, and that is to play rugby league. When he does, and when he gets into top form, he's one of the best Super League players around. This should be a classic tonight.
Welcome back, Steve-O, and with Sean Lunt now at Hull Kingston Rovers, there are still 6 former Castleford players in their ranks tonight. Coach Paul Anderson is a product of the Red Hill Amateur Club in Castleford, as is his opposite number, Darryl Powell. James Child, with a big smile on his face, he is tonight's big match referee. Let's hope that he has a smile throughout the course of the evening. If he has a smile, the players will have a smile. We'll all be smiling because it will be a classic encounter. Wonder what thoughts are going through the mind of Craig Hubie. As Steve-O says, he takes the first run. Look out, because the Castleford Tigers will be after him with a vengeance. So Danny Brough's about to get this game underway. Perfect night, crystal clear, firm pitch, no rain, not much wind. James Child's ready, blows the whistle, here we go. Brough with the high kick. Liam Finn is underneath it for Castleford. Dawn getting it away to Justin Carney, and bang, he's hit by 3 great tackles there. One of them coming in from Jermaine McGilvray.
Pretty good defence, though, by the Giants. They're getting out of the mark, and that's very, very good in regard to the coach, Paul Anderson. I mentioned the fact they've got to really make sure that this defence is solid. They cannot allow the Tigers to start taking control in the opening 10-15 minutes. Remember, 7 tries against Wigan last week. Boy, that builds any team's confidence.
So with a kick from Gale is straight down the middle of the park, and he finds the ground as well. It will skip away. Told you the pitch is quite solid here tonight. And that's gone dead, so a 20-metre restart, which Robinson will take.
He won't be too upset about that, look, Gale. OK. They had the chance to set up on they'd get on the 20-metre line to take what's coming at them from the Giants. Interesting to see who takes this first receiver when they get anywhere near the halfway line. You'd think it'd be Danny Brough, but such an important player there at halfback, Luke Robinson.
Hubie will take it forward, his first touch with the ball in hand against Castleford after his 11-year career there. Here is Jamie Ellis, just drops the pass off. That's good hunting by 3 Tigers defenders. Millington was first in, Scott Moore and Oliver Holmes moved away quickly. High kick and crossfield from Danny Brough. Dawn is after this, pouches it cleanly. Great take by the Castleford fullback and captain for the night in the absence of Michael Shenton.
Well, that didn't surprise me that Danny Brough went over onto that wing. They obviously want to put a lot of pressure on the big fella Justin Carney.
Tell you what, that's going to be a heavyweight clash out there on the left of Castleford, the right of Huddersfield. McGilvray against Carney, 2 big men, and you saw how McGilvray dealt with Carney's run down the line then. Here is Andy Lynch now.
And it was smart by the coach, Daryl Powell. Remember, they're going to put a lot of weight down on Justin Carney's wing. He's not the best in defence and he's not the best at catching the ball. But Luke Dawn fully realised what he had to do, and he put himself into a position to defuse that long kick.
Scott Griggs takes the angle kick. Didn't cause him too many problems. That defence might do. And here now comes Aaron Murphy again. Always in quickly off his wing is Murphy to try and help the big forwards out. Great offload from Hubie, that, and he finds Scott Griggs. Whoa, and then that was actually into the face of Jamie Ellis.
Well, I think Ellis took his eye off the ball at the vital moment. He didn't expect this. You could just see he just took his eyes away from it. Oh, that is a big error.
Off the top of the fingertips into the chin, and there's the first error of the night from Jamie Ellis, signed from Castleford this winter.
They could pay the price here.
The referee not happy that that scrum was formed the correct way. Now Powell, Danny Orr, he signed a new contract this week. He's at Castleford for the next 3 years. Danny Orr as Daryl's assistant. And here is Scott Moore now. Big chance this for the Tigers with Grant Millington. 20 metres away, centre field. He plays the ball. Oh, Scott Moore was nearly taken by surprise then. Managed to get hold of the ball. Dawn feeds it out wide to Carney. Good work again from big Jermaine McGilvray, and he forces the error.
And look how they're celebrating. You'd think that McGilvray had scored a try. We all realise that the tank on the flank, and this is the big fella, and that's the only way to get into him. Straight, don't give him any chance to settle. That's good work by the winger McGilvray.
Well, Jermaine McGilvray is very physical. You look at, and I think all the talk has rightly been about Justin Carney with the tries that he's scored, but Jermaine McGilvray is one of the best kick returners of the ball, knocking round in Super League, and he's set that challenge to himself not to give any space to his opposite, because he knows that if he gives him some space, he's a tough man to stop.
So the error from Ellis came to nothing, and Huddersfield have got the ball back, and it's with Robinson. Oh, and Ferris gets it away, but forward.
Yeah, a little bit too fancy. The idea was okay. They caught the Tigers out just short of that inside pass. There would have been a clean break through there. Obviously, it's a planned move, but you can see quite clearly it was forward.
Well, Stuart Cummings is nodding. He agrees with that decision.
The idea was good.
It's just gone in front of him. Good idea, but the ball hasn't come out of the hand backwards. It's actually gone forwards.
So it's Castleford who are in possession here with Oliver Holmes. The 22-year-old got a try against Wigan last week.
You know, Paul Anderson will be furious about that. That was early in the tackle count. OK, they just recovered from an error from Ellis. And it was getting them downfield, and they wanted to get the kick away. Another inside pass there. That looked a bit dubious as well.
Well, Huddersfield faithful on the far side thought so as well, but Luke Dawn is put on his backside by the defender. And here comes Nathan Massey now, and it's a mistake by him. Massey actually was going at the little man, Luke Robinson. He was a bit vigorous in the challenge, and the ball simply came out of his grasp.
Well, I've often said it. Why on earth they utilised to try to push a would-be defender away with the ball-carrying arm is beyond belief. It's quite obvious there that Robinson got a fingertip to it. Nadal Powell's not happy. And in fact, both coaches will be a little bit unsettled about their team's performance so far. Who's going to settle it down? Who's going to start taking and getting this kicking game into action?
Well, they lost 19-0 here, Huddersfield, in round 1 against Hull. Then they lost away games at Wigan and Leeds. To be fair, they could have won both. They finally got their first win against Widnes here last week. The Vikings hadn't won at Huddersfield since 1996, so maybe it wasn't that unexpected, but it was just what the doctor ordered for Paul Anderson.
Interesting to see how they're utilising Brett Ferris. He normally likes to run way out on this left-hand side.
Scampering run from Robinson. He gets the ball away to Ellis. Good hands. Oh, the half volley came off the chest of Jermaine. He says it came off my face, came off my chest.
Well, it's real panic stations at the moment. And that's what you get by passing the ball without really looking as to where it's going to go in the first place. It's all nerves.
Well, similar to last week, they looked a touch edgy in the first half. They were forcing the pass. They looked passive at times in defence. They just need to make sure that they get through the next few sets of 6. The last 3 occasions that they've had it, they've made mistakes. That is not good. Look where they're handing the ball over. As soon as they hand the ball over, they're defending in their own half, and that is not good for any side.
Yes, turning the ball over on halfway at that scrum to a Castleford side aiming for back-to-back wins for the first time since last September, when they won home matches against Bradford and Wakefield. Millington goes down. Scott Moore is the dummy half, and he gets the ball away to Andy Lynch. Lynch will try to power it forward, but that's solid enough defence from Jack Hughes. Now Gale gets a short pass into Junior Moores.
Now the Tigers are setting up for a good kicking game here. Will it be a short one into the in-goal area, or will they go another one? They're not going early.
No, it's Massey who takes it underneath the shadow of the posts, 19 metres out. We've reached the last tackle here. Scott Moore is the dummy half. Well, finally in Finn. Finn dabs the ball to the in-goal area, and Jermaine McGilvray took the gamble that was going out, and it did.
That's a great example of how to defend on the wing. Got himself into the right position early. He assessed the risk really with the ball and the speed it was moving at. Took a chance, of course, but he did have most of it covered. And obviously, these are massive turning plays. If that's a goal line dropper, it's potentially the first try for the Tigers. Instead, this side are up to the halfway line, and the crowd are up and off the seat as well.
Robinson gets the ball wide to Ellis. And he is dealt with.
Well, Darryl Powell
will
be quite happy with the fact that they at least got themselves in a good position. OK, a little bit too strong there from Liam Finn, but the idea was there. Now the Giants have to do it, and they're going early. That's a neat kick there from Brough. Will it make it? Yes, it will. Oh, did he touch it? I don't think so. I think Clare just pulled the hand away right at the vital moment.
I think he was standing outside the field of play anyway. He was. Just touches the whitewash. So it's Castleford's head and feed.
Well, it could have been a difficult one there. It looked to me as though his feet was actually off terra firma.
Well, he could have actually just played the ball. As soon as he was outside the field of play, he could have just touched the ball and it would have been in touch. So he seemed to want to let it touch the line on its own.
But it just sort of, watch him lift the...
Guys, looking.
No, he had the foot down. Yeah, you're right. The pressure from Murphy.
Surrender!
So Castleford will try and work this ball away from their own end of the field.
That's okay.
Scott Moore gets it away to Oliver Holmes again. Only 22 years of age, Oliver Holmes. He was given his debut here against Huddersfield in 2010 as a 17-year-old. He seems to have been around forever. Junior Moores now. Down he goes, under the challenge of Kopjak and Ferris.
Yeah, got a bit excited there, the second row of Brett Ferris. Got to be a little bit careful. The one thing they don't want to do is give away a penalty 30-40 metres downfield.
Wait. Go.
Moore again, and Gale trying to get it over the head of Aaron Murphy, which he succeeds in doing, and this is a good kick because it means Murphy has to run it away from his own line.
It's a great kick, isn't it, by Luke Gale? You know, who's a player who did it tough at times, learning how to get better, playing for London at the bottom of the league. But I think that experience has certainly improved him as an all-round player. He's had to learn how to play in difficult situations. That was a tight position, and he got a brilliant kick in.
Oh, what a pass round the corner. And here is Gregson. He has support from Ward. He's gone without it in the end. And it's picked up. It's the free play. Dawn. Oh, and a mistake from Liam Finn.
There's
in
the overlap.
Open play.
He
They
knows
bring it back.
And they know it, Eddie. Liam Finn knows that he had the overlap. It was 3-on-1. Well, what about the offload? It was superb. It looked as though the Giants, Griggs gets the ball through. I'm afraid Wardle just could not handle that at the vital moment. And this is where Dawn picks it through, and Liam Finn knows it. Dear me. Jake Webster was screaming for it on the outside. And look at the pass from Hubie. That's world class. That isn't.
Okay, looking tight. Heads in, Scott.
So head and feed at the scrum to the Castleford Tigers. Gale feeds. Here comes Jake Webster again. First start of the season last week against Wigan. It was a tight game here last May. Huddersfield winning 29-28. Needless to say, it was a Danny Brough drop goal that separated the two sides at the end. Here is Andy Lynch. It was a totally different Castleford side that was on duty then compared to now.
Yeah, well, confidence is pretty high in the camp at the moment, and they're in a good position as well. They've worked this ball up very, very quickly indeed. Good play the ball. This has got to be a high one, or will they go for the corner? No, he's going to put some height on it.
Finn claimed. Well claimed, McGilvray. His 20th consecutive appearance on the wing. Here's Cudjoe.
What about that effort from Luke Robinson in that defensive set of six? He was involved in every single play. A good take from Jermaine McGilvray, but Luke Robinson is one of those players that he just does all the hard work. He doesn't moan about it. He gets off his line. He looks to defend. He looks to dominate. And when he's got the ball as well, he's intelligent. Look at him, having a look up. What's from dummy half? If there's nothing on, I'm going to go like this.
Yes, he's been out of the side for a couple of weeks. He's got 3 youngsters under the age of 3. Everybody who has youngsters of that age, and with 3 of them in the household, they will know the trials and tribulations that he and his wife have been through. Sleepless nights.
Eddie, can I let you into a secret? He's been getting a lot of texts from a lot of former teammates giving him a hard time, saying, are you the only rugby player to have kids? He actually had an injection in his back, and maybe Paul Anderson was just trying to protect him from what was going on.
Well, maybe he was doing the 3 a.m. feeds as well, Terry. You never know.
We've all done them, Eddie.
I know
We've
you've
all
never done that. Here's Massey. Did you ever change a nappy, Terry?
Many a time.
Here is Scott Moore, and Millington finds Gale. Gale then to Channing, trying to shrug away from Brough. Brough did well, held on to him with help from Wardle. Down he goes. Clears the dummy half. It comes infield to Luke Gale. Under pressure, he gets a crossfield kick in. Now this could be interesting if Carney gets to it, which he does. It's bounced off the knees of Holmes. Webster flicks it over his head to Finn. Here goes Luke Dawn. This is inventive play from Castleford on the last. Really inventive play. Junior Morse gets the ball away to Channing. Channing stabs the ball towards the in-goal area, and it's Aaron Murphy, I think, who's come to the rescue.
Well, they were all setting up for the kick, and it was good defence. They got into the faces of the Giants, but this wonderful ability to keep the ball alive nearly paid off. Good job that Ferris. This was a good offload as well. Got the kick, but Murphy, good position. Well, things are just seeming to settle down somewhat. But you'd have to say that the way the Tigers have come from way down in their own quarter to apply that pressure, Huddersfield finding it a bit difficult now to get anywhere near the halfway line.
Yes, they're on the last. Oh, and they're deciding to run it here. No, they're not. Ellis will pump the kick in. He's gone for a 40-20 here. He's gone for a 40-20. This will skip away. That's a great kick. A great kick from Ellis.
Absolutely brilliant.
They get the head and feed because it's from the 40 of Huddersfield, well inside the 40 to the 20 of Castleford.
Well, for the Giants to be successful in the Super League competition, they need somebody on the right side of the field to offer something. We've seen Danny Brough on the left with his passes and his kicks, setting up tries. But here now, they believe in Jamie Ellis. They have a player who can balance this team. That means that when you play against the Giants, it's not just Danny Brough on the left you need to worry about, but Jamie Ellis and the players outside him are also a threat. Here's a 40-20 that sets them into a brilliant position.
I couldn't agree with you more, Phil, and mainly the fact because they realised in Ellis that the big fella, Justin Carney, it was on the 5th. It was nowhere to be seen. It was open space.
Wardle is over the line as he got this ball down.
He's got it.
Has he? I don't think that there's much evidence from our view, but of course, James Child has seen enough. He thinks it is a try, so he's handed it upstairs, stewarded up to the video referees now to find concrete proof why they should turn this down.
It is, and I think I've seen the ball on the ground right at the end. James Child does, and that's why he's sending it up as he has. He's still in possession. The tackle isn't complete because the ball's off the ground. Oh, does he have his hand on the ball when the ball's grounded? Does he just lose possession as he goes down? Hands on the ball at that point. And what happens after this? Does he get downward pressure?
He's lost it.
He's lost the ball.
Yeah.
The ball's come out of his hand. And that's the key. It's the hand. It's not in his possession if he's just touching his arm. I think that should be no try.
Well, they have to have 100% certainty, and they have 100% certainty. It just came out of Wardle's grasp momentarily, and he couldn't get it back before it touched the ground. Just here, there.
Good work by Gale, because I think Gale had a little bit of influence on that to push it through. Either way, it's a big let-off after a wonderful kick there from Jamie Ellis. The 40-20. Now the defence has really got to fire up. Oh, was that a knock-on?
I don't think it was the best play of the ball.
Luke Robinson's down, Eddie.
Yes, Luke Robinson is down. It looks like he's taken a heavy knock.
He's just led the line up. He's tried to put a big shot on. He's come off second best.
He's not right.
He's fighting with the physio here now.
He's having a real argument with the physio, isn't he? Because the rules are, of course, that if he's got a head knock, he should be off. This is Luke Dawn, who is dumped to the ground by Brough.
And the physio's just asked for him to be changed over. He's got concerns over Luke Robinson.
Here comes Millington running at Robinson. And Kopjak. Here's the bang. Oh, it's a big hit with Andy Lynch. Now then Gale, and Robinson is on his haunches. Gale,
they've got to get
hoists the kick, and Murphy does well.
He's got to get off. It's and the medical people are doing the right thing.
I wonder if when Robinson turned to try and get away from the trainer when he came on, the physio, he saw an orange jersey. I wonder if he thought he was being tackled by a Castleford player.
I understand his bravery and wanting to play on, but some of the players, if they get any time, want to check on the internet and read about a thing called second impact syndrome. After you've had the first collision, it doesn't take very much for a second bang or collision to have a very serious effect. And I think he probably should have taken the advice of the medical staff following that. When he hits the ground and then recovers just out of shot in that position there as Andy Lynch bumped away from him.
But on top of that, Phil, he got himself involved in another tackle as well.
He's not going to jump out the way, though, Steve-O.
No, I realise that, but I think it's a...
You need to understand, once you've been hit once, Terry, and you've played the game, the second collision then, it doesn't take much to be seriously injured.
And you'll get picked out by the opposition, but I want to give a big tap on the back to the physio, because he wasn't taking no for an answer. He was telling the bench that Luke Robinson wasn't okay. He needed to go off. No matter what little Luke was saying, he needs to go off.
And that's what's happened.
Is it a case, Eddie, that, you know, we saw that Luke Robinson just pushed the assistant away, and he said that the assistant can go to the referee and say, I'm concerned about this player. Stop the game straight away.
And that's what happened, Steve-O. That's what happened. That's what happened in that case. When he eventually, he was treating Luke Robinson, and when James Child was in earshot, the physio shouted to him, and James Child stopped it the very next tackle.
Yeah, but what I'm saying, Stuart, is the fact that Robinson was involved in a defensive tackle when really he should have just stayed down.
Well, he's a brave man, is Luke Robinson. He punches above his weight each and every week. And here is a man who does that and more, Justin Carney. 18 minutes gone, and still we await the first points of this match. And Carney, with a bit of interference, loses the ball. First penalty of the game we've just seen here.
Well, does Kyle Wood pull the arm away? Yes, I think he does. Not that he was held all that strongly by Justin Carney. Either way, he's got the penalty.
Well, we have had one try chalked off rightly by the video referee. So we still await the first points of the night. And, well, this potentially tomorrow has all the makings of a classic. It's arguably the biggest game of the season so far. Warrington third against the league leaders. They'll be at the Halliwell Jones Stadium in Warrington at 7:30, Sky Sports 1, and I hope that you will be as well. Here is Dawn.
This is the first time we've seen the full-back linking to the three-quarter line.
He returned last week against Wigan, had a blinder of a game, as did Clare. Clare to Gale. He bullets the pass to Lynch. Lynch then finds Finn.
Back to 6.
Oh, and he's got a set of 6 coming again. Has Liam Finn. He's fortunate to get away with that. Scott Moore to Nathan Massey.
Had the opportunity there, I'm afraid, did Cudjoe, but made a real meal of it.
On the charges, Webster. Webster gets to within half a metre of that try line. Scott Moore is the dummy half. Looks for the big man. Lynch is the big man. And Lynch, I think, has got... No, he's short.
No, that was good effort. Really got underneath him. It was Hubry that stopped him.
Well, they all appealed in the Castleford colours for that. This is Gale. Gets the ball away to Channing. Lovely pass to Dawn. Here is Clare. Good defence. Scrambling defence from Huddersfield. James Clare had nowhere to go other than over the whitewash on this near side.
Well, you talk about sliding defence in numbers. They had no less than 4 get themselves involved at this. 1, 2, 3, and then they get another one to extra. Scott Griggs had the extra weight, and it's the Giants that's going to get head and feed. But this was so close, wasn't it?
Eddie, I know that you enjoyed the game last week in the south of France, the 40-all draw. Juiced, I suppose, down there in Perpignan. But I particularly enjoyed this opening 20 minutes. I think you should have to work very hard to score a try in Super League. And defence should make the effort that we've just seen there to deny their opponents. Castleford have had territorial advantages in this opening 20 minutes, but have been unable to break through what is an improving Giants defence from rounds 1 and 2.
Yes, the points are hard to come by here tonight. They weren't so hard to come by last Saturday afternoon in Perpignan, but it was entertaining. 40-all, dearie me. And plenty to talk about as well.
There's always controversy in rugby league, Eddie. You're fully aware of that.
Oh, Michael Lawrence is fiddled and faffed about with by the Castleford defenders, so he's got the penalty. Well, all over the back of him, Andy Lynch.
Yeah, he just didn't get away, and the official was screaming, leave him, leave him. Failed to do that. You know, it's silly things like that. You can get all the hard work, and not surprisingly, Darryl Powell shakes the head in absolute bewilderment. A man of so much experience to come up with something like that.
Here's Kopjak. There's 2 great British coaches we have here tonight in charge of these 2 sides. This is Cudjoe, lovely flick pass, and McGilvray has slid over the line, and that's, I think, 1 each. Carney won that battle, and McGilvray won a couple early on. Maybe that first tackle of the match on Carney, McGilvray won it, so we'll say it's 1 apiece.
Yeah, McGilvray thought that McGilvray won it, so it was Carney that got to him. Yeah, it was McGilvray. Brick wall, bang, straight into him. Well, it's exciting both ends. Remember, Lynch went close for Castleford. Brett Ferris before that. There could have been scores on the board.
Did you see how Luke Dawn was applauding Justin Carney for that tackle? The thought of having to stop Jermaine McGilvray if Carney hadn't got back might have been the reason why he was so chuffed to keep clapping him.
Penalty at the scrum. Too quickly out, I think, the Huddersfield Giants, so Castleford gain territory. They're 10 metres off halfway as they start this next set of 6. Here's Oliver Holmes.
You know, I can't believe that players will do, and messing around again. No, this is where they're just completely losing the plot.
What's that, Stuart? A Cumberland throw or something?
No, the referee's called held because he's lifted the leg and he's wanting to take it further and also put him to ground, and that's what the penalty's for. And I think that's a great call because it causes them to release the player a lot quicker and we get a quicker play of the ball.
OK, start of this set of 6. Bill News and Luke Robinson.
Yeah, there's no sign of Luke Robinson emerging from the Giants dressing room, which is a bit of concern. He certainly wasn't knocked out in that incident. He was a bit stunned, and that is why they are still assessing him out there. And the Giants hoping that they can get him back out there. They've only just got him back after 2 games out, and he's only lasted about a quarter of this one so far.
And here comes the Castleford Tigers in the shape of Matt Cook, who is held up over the line.
Good work again by Scott Griggs. He got right underneath Cook. Here's the big fella.
The girl's about to come on. It's going to take the place of one of the front rowers. Surely they won't be taking Craig Hubie off, will they?
Well, it would surprise me.
Not tonight, surely.
No.
Oliver Holmes goes down. And Liam Finn gets the kick across field. Oh, well claimed. Ball comes free, and it's dropped by Channing. Well, it's no try, this.
Last tackle.
Well, nobody wanted the ball. Simple as that. It was a good kick, and the opportunity.
I think he's just asked for assistance here, Stuart, hasn't he? As what on earth went on and how he restarts the match.
Yes, touches on the near side is called a knock-on, as he's gone over anyway. I think James Charles has sent it up. They're all onside from the kick. Actually, it looks like the ball's been pulled out backwards, but I think that's the knock-on there, even though he's gone beyond the ball. I think it's still knocked it in a forward direction.
Well, I think there's about 4 knock-ons there. That's 2.
I think
that's 3.
I think that's where the knock-on is.
That's
it's
4.
Come off Moores. That's where they'll rule the knock-on. So this will be no try.
So yes, it isn't a try. It's got to be head and feed then, hasn't it, to
the Giants?
Oh, no, it's the turnover. It's a turnover because we're on the last.
Okay. Well, golden opportunity's just been wasted. Not so sure Wardle needed to go in with the knees there, but maybe it looked worse than what it was. That's good defence. Big fella's first rush.
It is Craig Hubie that they have replaced with Earl Crabtree. Well, Big Earl got his first start last weekend, and he came up with his first try of the year as well. And that was Ellis. He helped it on to Griggs. Griggs, who also makes a difference to this team. Cudjoe on one leg.
Certainly does so, Eddie. That you've got to admire the way that the Castleford sliding defence worked well there. No one got excited. No one came out of the line. They just slid across. It was man on man. Nowhere to go for the Giants.
Oof.
That's a dangerous pass.
It was. Wardle did well to hang on to that under all sorts of pressure. Oh, then he released the pass, and James Clare has picked it up.
What on earth are they playing at?
So this is a great chance for the Tigers here with Gale. Spins it in field to Finn. There was a bit of a clip round the ear then from Cudjoe. Here is Webster. Webster goes down on the second tackle. Carney will try and use the muscle. Webster, the dummy half. Back it comes to Finn. Finn looks for the runners, and that's Massey.
Getting through a lot of work is this fella Massey, but they're equal to the task with their defensive line.
5 metres out. Whoop. And Lynch went one way, then the other, and came back up the middle.
He was looking for support as well. A second phase there, short to him. Little short pass probably would have got him over.
It's Finn off the outside of the boot to the in-goal area.
Too strong.
Far too strong in the end. Annoyed with himself, Liam Finn. And the Castleford coach, Darryl Powell, doesn't look too impressed either.
Well, they work hard in those set plays. And those little kick through, we know the ability of Liam Finn. And really, they should try to just let it deposit itself in the in-goal area. And that's the third occasion that they haven't been able to do that.
Crabtree trying to drag Huddersfield over halfway, which he does.
That's great work from the Giants to get in the opposition half when you're only playing on the third. That gives you a little bit of an option here.
Michael Lawrence is underneath all of that, and Robinson trying to prove that he's A-OK and fit to resume. This is Griggs again. Nearly got away from Channing, but there were two reinforcements waiting.
Brough has to get it high.
And he does, high off the left boot. Oh, it's hanging, got some hang time this. Well
Great
claimed.
take.
Well claimed by Justin Carney.
He's not the best in that department, to be fair, Justin Carney, but that was a tremendous effort.
He's given a penalty away, Justin Carney.
Is it a penalty or was it a forward pass?
No, I think he's given the penalty for the push by Justin Carney after he's played the ball.
Eddie, that's criminal, that. When you're in possession, you've done all the hard work, you've caught the ball on the full, under pressure, and then you come up with a push in the face. I think it's young Josh Johnson who's just entered the field.
Well, he's got under the skin of Justin Carney straight away. And so this is a great opportunity for Huddersfield to get the first points on the book. No, it's not. What did I say? Jamie Ellis.
Again, Eddie, similarities to last week. Paul Anderson will know that. They look a nervous side. Both teams haven't been very fluent when they've had the ball. They've defended very well near their own line. But again, just taking your eye off the ball, having a look at what's in front of you. Just make sure you catch the ball. That's what you need to do first of all.
Well, the most important factor is if you're a coach on either side, they will look at one thing, which is a glaring error. There's never been a dropout yet underneath the sticks. In other words, neither side can apply that pressure where you get the second set of 6 consecutive, and that just shows you that nerves are out there aplenty. Whoever wants to settle down, gets this short kicking game in, gets a second set of 6, will probably score.
Well, we've seen Luke Robinson warming up, anxious, champing at the bit. Bill?
Yeah, warming up like a madman, Luke Robinson, keen to get back out there, and he is OK to get back out there. He's been fully checked over by the Giants medical team. He was a bit stunned in that incident, but that's about as far as it went. Certainly wasn't knocked out, anything like that, and he's all right to go back on. And having been out for 2 weeks, having taken the stick that he has taken during his absence, he will be very, very keen to get out, back out there and prove a point.
That's a good run from Matt Cook.
It looked a forward pass, though, to Cook. Got away with it. This should be a high kick again.
It is from Luke Gale. Griggs is underneath it, pouches it cleanly, and hit immediately by Channing. Oh, and then hands in the ruck. Tackle complete. Couldn't release his hands away from the ball. They were attracted to it, and he's conceded the penalty, and that relieves the pressure on Huddersfield. Steve, you mentioned that there's a bit of nerves on the show maybe out there. We're watching two teams who are more used to life in the top 4. They're currently in the bottom 4. I know there's a long way to go, but there's only 23 rounds to put things right this year. Is it nerves because of the repercussions? If they stay in the bottom 4, they'll drop into the middle 8.
Well, don't they keep saying every minute matters? And as far as they're concerned, they're a little bit embarrassed, both those sides. Look, there's so much talent out there on the field of play. They shouldn't be down there at the bottom of the table. They know they should be in a better position. And yes, psychologically, they feel that way. But whichever side is going to start doing something, which is called just basic rugby league, will win this game tonight.
The Kumatai with a great run. And here is Danny Brough trying to unlock the defence with some good footwork. He gets it away once more to Ty, the Tongan international. Down he goes. 4 tackles gone, 2 remaining this set of 6. Ellis looks for the runner, it's Griggs. Griggs then to Crabtree. Crabtree, the arms were free, but he couldn't release the ball.
Good tackle there by Junior Moores.
Brough, flat pass. No way through. Ellis, I think it is.
Josh Johnson.
Maybe not Josh Johnson.
Now then, surely the Giants are going to come up with that. Oh no, it's a turnover, sorry. I was just saying that again, they missed the opportunity to try to get a consecutive set of 6. It's a bit like a tennis match, this. It's from one end to the other. Mistake down then, and then a mistake down the other. Settle it down, boys.
Sorry, Steve. Well, teams at the bottom of the table genuinely don't defend like this. You've got 2 very good defensive sides. Well, there you go. You only give penalties away when you feel that you're under pressure. There's no movement. They're just trying to buy that bit of time because they know that Castleford, well, first of all, they haven't won that collision. They haven't turned the player onto his back. But Castleford are a dangerous side. The first 3 rounds, they were beaten by 1 point, 2 point, and 7 points. That's how close they are in games. And then obviously they came up with that fabulous win last week when they played against Wigan.
So Steve Crossley is on.
Sometimes they're too impatient here, because we've not had a try. Steve-O, we're getting concerned. But if you look at football on Sky Sports, very often you wait 60, 70 minutes for the goal. I think it's about building, and it takes a concentration for the players as well, because maybe they are used to scoring lots of tries. But you have to stay focused. Here they are now in attack. The defenders are rushing up so quickly. They're closing down many of their attacking plays.
I'm not saying it's a poor game, Phil. It is the fact that, that nobody out there wants to control the game and act a little bit more professional.
Here's Ben Roberts.
Good step.
He's off the bench. Channing, oh, the ball's come free and it's a knock on, says the referee James Child. And more frustration for Darryl Powell. He wears his heart on his sleeve. I tell you, there are 2 men inside this ground tonight. Unless something happens in the next 7 minutes, they are going to have a lot to talk about nothing at half-time. That's Brian and John.
Oh, there's plenty to talk about. Don't worry about that.
Yeah, but it'll be all knock-on, Steve-O. Mistakes and panic.
What was he trying to do there under Ben Roberts? It looked like he was attempting to offload it like a...
Wait for the out call, lock in, stay!
He's playing rugby union, releasing it in a rock.
Out! The loose forward is out! Huddersfield.
So Aaron Murphy will try and run this ball out. It's his 70th Huddersfield appearance, by the way, for Aaron Murphy.
I know it's part of the rules, Eddie, but it's beginning to irritate me about this. When you pack the scrum down and try to kid the opposition to get the referee to give you a penalty. Get on with the game.
Luke Robinson's doing that. He's back out of the head bin. Oof.
That could have been a penalty. He was interfered with then, was Brough.
Ferris, he's scragged to the ground by Luke Gale. Well, Robinson again.
Danny Brough is furious at the official. He thought that Liam Finn was interfering before he got the ball. Oh, he had a little think there about whether it was an obstruction. Did James Child.
Josh Johnson. Robinson. That's Ellis. This is Crabtree again. Gets the arms free, finds Brough. They've thought about the long pass off the deck. Robinson, he keeps the movement going to Crabtree.
Into the in-goal area, please.
Ferris tried to do it.
Offside.
And it's play on.
Well, it looked offside to my way of thinking, but I'm not the official.
Stewart explained that hit Matt Cook, and then the man in front of him dropped on it.
Well, I think it's because the Huddersfield player has played the ball, which is put him back on side.
So you feel that Ferris had a fingertip to it? Okay. Well, we're still await for the little dribble into the in-goal area to have the dropout.
Well, he nearly got one from Ferris, but he's not kicker-in-chief, is he?
Too true.
Offside against Huddersfield, too quick off the mark. Into the last 5.
Well, it's the sheer enthusiasm of Luke Robinson, that man who's come back onto the pitch, the number 7 there. He knows that he can't give any of the big forwards that momentum.
Terry, I've seen worse than that, being allowed to play on. It wasn't as though someone was 3 or 4 metres in front.
He's the man who's penalised, though, Steve-O.
Too true.
Yeah, I've just been reminded that last week on Saturday we saw the highest scoring draw in Super League history. Are we in line for the lowest here tonight? It's 0-0 and 4 minutes to the break.
Well, you never know. Someone might come up with a drop goal.
Wide they go to Dawn. Oh, great hit by Griggs.
Was it ever? Try saver.
And it's hurt Luke Dawn. And it's dented his pride as well.
Sorry, mate. Oh. This is the reason why you love rugby league, isn't it? Scott Griggs, bang, straight into the rib cage. No way that the fullback's going to keep hold of this. Bang.
And you know all about sore ribs at the moment, don't you, old boy?
I'm afraid so, yeah.
But not caused by tackling like that.
Locking tight, stay!
Well, I hope not. Not for sure. Well, it's been a strange game, hasn't it, in this first stanza, but I've enjoyed it. And this is what the Giants have missed since this guy's been off. That should be a penalty, and he's got it.
Well, Robinson's returned, and he's had a bit of an impact.
Well, that's just sheer energy. He gets out from dummy half. He knows that some of his forwards and outside backs have been doing a lot of hard work when he's been off. He plays upstream, gets out from dummy half, and his urgency to get up and play that ball, that's where they are now, 30 metres from Castleford's line.
Now, will we see Scott Griggs come chiming into the line?
Well, he's lurking with intent, but that's Ellis! And Jamie Ellis breaks the Castleford defensive line. His coach applauds him, and Ellis, well, he lifted the jersey to the Castleford fans who, this time last year, were applauding him. And he's through, got through the defensive line. He's pleased the Huddersfield fans. He's annoyed the Castleford Tigers supporters. 3 in 4 games now, though, for Jamie Ellis.
Silly penalty on Robinson. Put them in a pretty good position. And this is a good build-up, but this is a wonderful dummy, isn't it? Oh, boy. You don't see them better than that in a chemist shop. Uh-oh. See you later, baby.
Well, he scored against Wigan. He scored against Leeds. I don't know whether the question in his weight, but he preferred to show them the shirt. And he's very pleased. You know, I was with a rugby league great before the game, Gary Schofield. A sensational player in his day, and we had a conversation about this game. He thought the Huddersfield were a one-man team centred around Danny Brough. Before the match, again, I said, well, I'm not sure, but Jamie Ellis is showing here that they do have an option on the right-hand side of the field. He's taking on the defence, he's scoring tries as a result, and the more ball he gets, I think the more dangerous he'll become.
Yes, little message for the Castleford fans maybe there, and Brough adds the extras. Huddersfield edge ahead towards half-time. It's 6-0.
Well, both sides have earned the right to play, and it was only going to be short time before somebody opens up, and I think Oliver Holmes, the number 11, look at him. He's just lateral. There's no pressure on Jamie Ellis, and that's just manna from heaven. You show him the inside, and people like that are going to burn you.
Well, he was on his feet, Paul Anderson, applauding the try. Big smile, his face was wreathed in smiles.
And it had to be as well, because he knows he's been frustrated. The opportunities from both sides. Obviously, for the reason of the scoreboard, that Anderson will be a little bit more chuffed than what Daryl Powell will be, who has watched this Tigers team put themselves in good position and yet failed to score a point.
Ryan Sheridan sharing a view with the Tigers coach. And Brough waits. Gives it then to Crabtree.
This will be up the jumper. They'll be quite happy to go into the half-time break. 6 points in front.
Yes, Ferris knew that half-time siren was coming, just took the tackle. Well, there's the try scorer, the only one of the first half, Jamie Ellis. 5th start in a row, tries in 2 of them, now tries in 3 of them. And he faced Leeds Rhinos in the Challenge Cup final as a substitute last year, which was the highlight of his 3 seasons with Castleford. Well, he's already had a highlight here tonight, scoring against his former club. And Danny Brough, he added the extras. But a first half, I suppose, in many cases of what might have been, because they've both built good pressure, but they haven't managed to turn any of that pressure into real advantageous points. Apart from this, from Ellis, 6-0, the Giants.
Ladbrokes, proud sponsor of the Super League on Sky Sports.
Sky Sports, your home of Super League.
This is four-wheel drive ability fused with urban agility. This is adventure advanced. This is the Mitsubishi ASX.
Mitsubishi Intelligent Motion.
Someone tried to kill me 3 days ago. I need to find out why.
I understand you have some information.
Ego unshook. You're the last rat on the table.
Let the real hunt begin!
The Gunman in cinemas March 20.
This is a finger. Not just any finger. This is a smart finger. Using the motors.co.uk smart search, it can find history-checked cars by things like running costs, insurance group, or any extras it fancies. And it can save money, searching thousands of cars reduced in price. But the best thing about SmartFinger is you already have one. Get your SmartFinger out and find the right car for you at motors.co.uk.
She's a mum in a million. Surprise her with Andre Carpentier champagne. Now $13.49 at Tesco.
Let's just provide 24-hour customer support by phone, email and online chat.
I guess that works too.
Visit us at quickquid.co.uk.
It's Price Slice Week. Buy one delicious medium or large Domino's pizza and get another absolutely free.
Greatness from Domino's.
With iZettle, you can run your business on a tablet or smartphone and take card payments wherever you are. Sign up now and get a free card reader for your business.
Wayward balls are drawn to lone men with female companions like moths to a flame. 'Tis an open invitation to show thyself up. A lesser mortal might elect to throw it back, but not this man. For he possesses an inner steel that can come from only one place, a peppered steak slice. Ginsters, feed the man.
This is not going to be easy, lads. You've got to fight. Put your neck on the line. There'll be big decisions to make. You must be first to score. The right decisions will make all the difference. Here's a great offer from Betfred. Betfred, passionate about rugby league. Keep it fun. Gamble responsibly.
Come on, mate.
Dolce by Dolce & Gabbana, the fragrance for women.
Everybody take a step back.
Save the legs, but the patient dies.
Come on. Dropping.
He's here one day, he's gone tomorrow. You know how we do things here.
Ben, the glove is torn. We need full bad air precautions. With immediate effect, we're locked out.
Brand new Critical. Catch up with the whole series on demand now.
Ladbrokes, proud sponsor of the Super League on Sky Sports.
Well, I know you shouldn't wish your life away, but what a weekend next weekend promises to be. St Helens against Warrington next Thursday, 7:30 Sky Sports 3, same time, same channel, Friday for Leeds against Wigan. Two fantastic matches. And Leeds and Warrington will warm up for what's to come next weekend. Live with us on Sky Sports 1 tomorrow at Warrington Leeds from 7:30. And this hasn't been bad either in the first half, and nothing really to choose between the two sides. Huddersfield 6, Castleford 0. The late try from Jamie Ellis, improved by Danny Bruff's conversion. Well, we are watching two sides here coached by the last two coaches of the year. Paul Anderson won the accolade in 2013, and he's having a word with his charges now, as you can see in the dressing room. And the current holder of the Coach of the Year title, Darryl Powell, who is just a little more animated, because I think, well, you saw him during the course of that first half. There were some shakes of the head, and he was wearing his... There's some more shaking of the head. He was wearing his heart on his sleeve. I don't think he's been too impressed with what he's seen in the first half. Well, two very relieved men now we're going to join, because Jamie Ellis has given you both something to talk about, fellas.
Yeah, thanks very much, Eddie. I thought it was going to be Castleford City against Huddersfield Town, but we got to try in the end. Look, the Huddersfield Giants made life difficult for themselves at the start of that game. Ellis dropped ball, Ferry's forward pass, McGilvery knock on, invited Castleford down into their side. Castleford threw a lot at them, and Huddersfield had to defend well for that. Castleford had chances, John.
It was a half full of mistakes, though, wasn't it? That's not to say there weren't chances, and I think Castleford probably had the better of them in the first half.
They've had a bigger regression in their performances from last week's victory over Wigan to Huddersfield's victory over Widnes.
Toothless in attack. Here's the chances that we're talking about, and it's this second phase stuff. First of all, coming from left to right, last tackle. You've got to point the finger here. Once this ball gets into Junior Moore's hands, you think straight in that play, catch and pass to Channing, and he's got a 2-on-1 with Murphy coming across. Doesn't take it. That's a chance gone begging for me. At this level, that's a chance gone begging. Here's another one. This one is, I think, there's a couple of things that we could have a look at with this. Luke Gale here. I think the obvious ball is to Luke Dawn. The problem for Luke Gale is that Junior Moores and Michael Channing, I think, need to be just that little bit further up the field. They need to be really committing these Huddersfield defenders here. And if they do, then that really opens the gate for Luke Dawn, who himself is making his timings off these two front guys here. So if these guys are up, Luke Dawn's a little flatter, it's an easier pass for Luke Gale, then they really cause Aaron Murphy some problems on that left edge. So for me, two options there, two definite chances that they had. I mean, even at this point, you still thought there could have been something made of it from the Tigers. Well defended in the end from Huddersfield.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I thought that the attacking runners were doing well. Just the pass should have been to Luke Dawn first and foremost.
All I'm saying is it's a difficult pass when you've got to go that deep. And I think with that deep, that sort of depth, you do give that man a chance to move on in defence.
You'll credit Luke Dawn or Luke Gale as being a player who can make that pass. You were speaking to me in the preparation for this game about Luke Gale's defensive efforts in that victory over the Wigan Warriors. We highlighted some of his attacking plays, but his defensive efforts were good. You've seen a repeat today.
I thought it was superb against Wigan. This clip is from last week, just so there's no confusion. And then we're going to roll into the clip from the first half. Have a look at what he does. He'll appear from the left of your picture here, and he's going to hit Matty Bowen. Matty Bowen, orange boots, comes straight out the line. Great read in defence. Very solid for a half-pack in defence. Now, it's as much about the read as it is about the execution of the tackle. I'll pick Luke Gale out for you. Here he's right at the bottom of your screen here in the orange boots. There's Luke Gale. But he's seen the pass that's coming here, and
How's your eyes? They're green.
Blimey. It's been a long day. Right, so here we go. Again, the read in defence. He's able to make the read in defence, and then in conjunction with Channing, drives back and forces the mistake from Huddersfield. That's continuity. That's what coaches look for, a consistent level of performance, and I thought he was excellent.
It took 37 minutes. We eventually got a try. If it wasn't going to be a team sparking into action to get a score, it was going to be the fatigue of a player being exposed, and you've identified it here in this play.
Two players who switched off, I think, for me. Oliver Holmes, the most obvious culprit, but there's actually somebody from the ruck here, Matt Cook, who's a problem. First things to pick out, though, a couple of issues to look at. Luke Dawn, the Castleford Tigers fullback, he sat 4 on the short side against what he thought were 4 Huddersfield attackers. They've hidden Grix and they've hidden Ellis, the try scorer, behind the ruck. Can't be accounted for at this moment. They break really late as well. Oliver Holmes, I'll circle here. Here's the man who's credited with the miss. But also keep your eyes on Matt Cook, second marker.
What's his responsibilities, John, as you play this on?
He's got to get out. He's got to get out and try and put pressure on here. Now, he's seen Josh Johnson go through on this front line, and I think he's given up on the play. Let's have a look.
Number 12.
Right, so we'll slow it down for you. Here he is. Once that ball's gone, I think that's the man who's given up on that play. Now, of course, the eventual try scorer gets in this hole here and comes inside, and it is Oliver Holmes that overreads and sends out and goes out wide to solve something else that's gone on. But have a look at Matt Cook again in the background, because I think he's given up on the play and then very quickly realises he needs to put in a shout for something here. Hand goes up. and claims the obstruction, I think if you give up on the play, you leave yourself at the mercy of that. It was Oliver Holmes who slid off too early. It was superbly created by Jamie Ellison. Don't forget, Jamie knows these Castleford players better than most on that Huddersfield team. Well worked, well executed. I would say well deserved. I think Castleford have given as good as they've got. That's a fortuitous try for them.
Yeah, I think there might be more in this game. These two teams, I believe, Eddie, just watching and getting a feel for it, they're going to open up in this second 40 minutes, something I'm looking forward to seeing.
Yes, we might well see a few more tries in the second half. Huddersfield have beaten Castleford the last 5 times on home soil. Yet, you know, they don't have the best record against the Tigers in Super League. They've only had 13 wins from 33 meetings. Well, will they get off unlucky 13 on the eve of Friday the 13th? 6-0 to Huddersfield Giants at half-time. Will the Tigers come back in the second half?
Ladbrokes, proud sponsor of the Super League on Sky Sports.
Gambleaware.co.uk. Some think we're all the same, but we're not. Others see the game as only one result. But we see hundreds of opportunities to win, from the number of corners to the time of the cards. Every goal scored is important as the next. Every shot, every block, every save. From the first to the last minute, we make every moment matter. Join us, William Hill, the home of betting.
Welcome to the jungle. We'll take it day by day. You can have anything you want. You better not take it from me in the jungle.
In a world that's getting louder, bring the quiet. New Lynx Black, an understated grooming range for men.
This is a finger. Not just any finger. This is a smart finger. Using the motors.co.uk smart search, it can find history-checked cars by things like running costs, insurance group, or any extras it fancies. And it can save money, searching thousands of cars reduced in price. But the best thing about SmartFinger is you already have one. Get your SmartFinger out and find the right car for you at motors.co.uk.
So, you can fix a board, then you can fix a bike. And if you can fix a bike, then you can fix a car. If you can fix a car, then you can learn to fix a Lynx Mark 8 helicopter, a Pacific 24C boat, a 4.5-inch naval gun, a Samson radar system, or a Type 45 destroyer. And when you can fix all that, you'll be a Royal Navy engineer. Start your journey. Search Royal Navy Engineers.
This is four-wheel drive ability fused with urban agility. This is adventure advanced. This is the Mitsubishi ASX.
Mitsubishi Intelligent Motion.
Longing for something spectacular? Don't worry, at least there's the new Grand from McDonald's. 2 magnificently succulent beef burgers, 2 slices of cheese, crisp Batavia lettuce and red onion, all in a special sesame seed bun.
They are very much in the race for a place in the Champions League.
Who's going to be in the top 4?
Top 4. Who's going to finish top 4? I've got my top 4 dossier here.
Diego Costa! Aguero!
Well, the top 2, easy.
United 3rd.
We top 4.
Look at the joy!
I think we've picked United.
Coutinho!
Southampton all in top 4.
A massive goal for Southampton!
Tottenham might sneak into 4.
He's done it again!
Anything can happen. That's the beauty of the Premier League.
The race for the top 4 hots up this weekend on Sky Sports.
Ladbrokes, proud sponsor of the Super League on Sky Sports.
Well, Lewis Hamilton begins the defence of his World Drivers' Championship this weekend. In Australia, we have practice day Friday morning 1 a.m. Then we have qualifying 5 a.m. on Saturday, and the race itself from 3:30. It starts at 5, all on Sky Sports F1. Here the race for Old Trafford continues. This is round 5 of the first Utility Super League, and Huddersfield Giants are ahead by 6 points to 0. Castleford restart, and I'm sure that Darryl Powell, with the pictures we saw, the animation of him, he will want much more from his team in this second half.
I think you're right, Eddie. I think it's a little bit like my school reports. You can and will do better. And I can assure you that the expression on Powell's face says it all, didn't it? I mean, they were so frustrated. They had more possession, certainly better field position throughout that first stanza. And they look at the scoreboard and it's still got that blot.
Luke Robinson with the kick for the sideline, which he finds successfully. Luke Dawn wasn't particularly interested in going for that. Half-time news. What was said, Bill? It looked a little bit animated in the Castleford dressing room.
I think it was. I think Darryl Powell has expressed his views, and he's probably expressed them a bit more frankly. He was pretty frank when he was talking to me, saying he thinks it's probably the worst 40 minutes he's seen in 20 years in the game. And he was thinking of taking a pillow back up to his coaching perch for the second half if it doesn't improve. And he's struggling to explain how a side that can do what they did to Wigan last week can play so poorly as they did in that first 40 minutes, his Castleford Tigers side. And he and Danny Orr scratching their heads a little bit. They've tweaked things for the second half, but he thinks it's really about attitude. The players very flat. They really haven't got going. They've made too many errors. They've given away some silly penalties, and they've just got to improve right across the board. And he thinks that the poor Castleford Tigers fans who've made the journey over here deserve a better performance in the second 40 minutes. And I don't think the Huddersfield Giants are far behind in their interpretation of that first 40 minutes. The only consolation for them is that defensively they were good. The Castleford Tigers had much the better of it in terms of possession, and the Giants managed to keep them at bay.
So 2 disgruntled camps by the sound of things. And here's another penalty. We've had plenty of those.
Well, it's a lack of concentration, unprofessional. You've got to, I mean, this is things that you'd see out on a school park.
10th penalty of the match. The score is 5 apiece.
And there's a problem with Luke Robinson as well now, getting stitched up. Again in the wars, I think it was Nathan Massey that he's clashed with when he's...
It was a bit of a handoff, Terry, and he caught it fair and square in the face. Well, he's going through the wars, but I mentioned before, this kick-off, Terry, it is as much that the kicking game is going to be so important. You've got to make sure that you kick control of it, and neither side did that in that first 40 minutes.
Here's Crabtree bidding this next set of 6 for the Giants. They do hold the 6-point advantage. Robinson, another headache tomorrow, no doubt about that. And Scott Griggs goes down. Robinson, infield it comes to Brough, and he just pops it up for Josh Johnson to charge onto. 2 Castleford defenders waiting for him. In centre field, it's Danny Brough. Okumatai is the runner. Oh, he's gone through them like a hot knife through butter. First try of the second half to the Giants, courtesy of Okumatai. First try of the year, he got a career best 10 last year from 27 appearances. That's valuable, though. That's put daylight between the two sides. Giants into double figures, 10-0, 12 surely to come with Brough from bang in front.
A very simple setup to it. Not the best defence. It was a short pass from Danny Brough, and they really should have had the numbers, which they hit. And I'm afraid you could find that Oliver Holmes was there. Wasn't the best attempt by the fullback, Luke Dawn, either. This is just sheer strength. Dawn perhaps thinking he could try to dislodge the ball rather than go low on the big fella, but it's a try for tie.
Yes, a Kumatai. And not the best defence from the Castleford Tigers, as you rightly say. But the Huddersfield players are happy enough. The Huddersfield crowd is happy enough. And Danny Brough here to add the extra 2. And he manages that, so that takes him even closer to 500 goals for Huddersfield. He only needs 6 now to reach that particular personal milestone.
Eddie, you say it's not the best defence, and of course that is the case. But I think Castleford can trace back the problems to the fact that when Ben Roberts kicked from the acting halfback, he couldn't, if he tried, have kicked it better to Scott Ricks. Ricks did not move 1 inch. If he'd been tasked with kicking it direct to him, I don't think it could have been that accurate. And then they compounded a really poor kick by giving away another penalty. And obviously you see how many tries are scored from penalties in that situation. So the defence was terrible, wasn't it, up there? But the 2 mistakes before that put them into that situation.
But isn't that the strength of Danny Brough? When he goes at the line, any halfback who goes at the line, knowing that he's going to get belted, but who can isolate a defender and get that one-on-one for the Kumatai, nobody's going to stop him. When he's coming onto the ball like that, hitting somebody's inside shoulder, difficult man to stop.
Interesting as well, Terry, to midway through that first half, when Robinson had to leave the field of play, it was not amazing to see that Danny Brough went off the boil. All of a sudden, Robinson comes back in, and you get the confident play from Danny Brough, and I'll see we'll get even more of it now.
Well, he's got to organise everything then, hasn't he, Steve-O?
Well, he took them on then, and then he had a case of dropsy, did Danny Brough.
I think he may have been knocked out. I think they may go for the ball-carrying arm here. Yeah, that was good work. Good work.
So that was the turnover then, because it was on the last.
Yeah, watch the arm. It didn't go for the ball. Did everything correct. Now they can, the Tigers, get themselves into some sort of semblance of getting this ball out wide. They've got to stand perhaps a little bit deeper. As you can see, their attack is very, very shallow. Quite happy to just trundle it up 1 out. I'm not right sure why.
Well, Ben Roberts, he was electrifying in the Four Nations for Samoa. There he is again. This is Nathan Massey now. Castleford need to score next at 12-0 down. Roberts once again into centre field to Gale. He switches the direction of the attack once more to Finn. And solid defence by Robinson low down. Did they miss the count then, Castleford?
No, I don't think
Luke Dawn was grounded on the last.
No, I don't think they missed the count, Eddie. It was a planned move. But I'll tell you something. I think Daryl Powell had just put a line right the way through that. They didn't make 1 metre forward. Look at the expression on the coach's face.
Yes, Daryl's not too impressed, neither Danny Orr. Brough.
We saw the build-up, Eddie, in regards to the Tigers. As they wanted to apply the pressure, they were in possession. You know, they were in one line. They're attacking. They're not defending. They've got to stand deeper, give themselves a little bit more room to create some.
Here's Robinson again, and Kumatai, whose early try in this second half has given us the 12-0 scoreline. Crabtree. Down he goes under the pressure of 3 tacklers. Last one coming up here then. We get the kick again from Brough. Yes, we do. Left-footed and high. Ooh, and into open space as well. But that's going to be claimed and easily behind his own try line. So tap 20.
Well, the 12-0 score is a significant one, and the returning now by James Clare might just be the spark to get Castleford going here, because I don't believe on the performance tonight they can come back from more than 12. They seem to have shot all the bullets last week when they played against Wigan with that brilliant attack, 7 tries, but they haven't looked like scoring tonight. All of a sudden now we've got Carney pushing off Big Earl and Luke Dawn skipping through. This might be the revival that they need.
Yes, maybe so. Did you see that from Carney when he just pushed Earl Crabtree away? I tell you what, Josh Charnley won't feel too badly now about what happened to him last week.
Well, that's a winger on someone who's 6'7", 6'8", and 19 stone.
This is Crossley. They've reached the last, Castleford now.
Well, Crossley was looking for the offload, and there was nobody there.
Ball comes high and goes out wide, and James Clare is stopped just about a metre short. Have we had a goal line dropout yet? You were making the point at half-time privately that we haven't had a goal line dropout all night.
Not whatsoever. And if you want to apply pressure, that's the best way to do it. Consecutive set of 6. Instead of putting the high bomb on or whatever the little trick doing there, just dribble it into the in-goal area. That puts pressure on your opposition.
That's the next best thing, though, that's Steve. Turning the ball over in the corner. Look at that. He should carry a warning sign with that handoff. I'm small, I'm compact, but I'm going to hurt you.
And who got to him eventually? Luke Robinson, one of the smallest on the field. That's a great kick. And the chase is equal to it as well. Look at the numbers. Look at the Giants. That is brilliant.
And if you're a Castleford forward now, that kick really does hurt you.
Problem here.
Clare's hurt.
As James Clare felt that.
Well, one of the comments by the Huddersfield coaches, you just see James Clare bang onto Greg Kopchak's leg, I think, with his head as he came through there. Was the improved defence last week. Here we see him going into the collision again. But Huddersfield restricted witness to just 12 points last week. It was a much better defensive effort against the Vikings, who threw the ball around certainly a lot in the first half. And yet we've seen again here tonight some pretty good defence. They've had to defend their own try line numerous times in the first half. They've done it well successfully for 10 minutes in the second. And they're making themselves, like they have been over the years, very difficult to score against.
Silly play by the big fella, Hubie. Far too high. Right into the throat, and that has given him another 35 metres upfield. But the Tigers have got to sort it out. The likes of Liam Finn and Luke Gale, they've got to start saying, hey, come on, fellas, get deeper. If you're going to give the opportunity for the explosive Luke Dawn at full back, you've got to make sure you've got good dummy runners out wide so that he can come onto the ball with a burst. Looks like there's a problem here.
He wants Crossley's shirt changing, I think. There's some blood on that.
Okay, yeah, on you, mate. Okay, Luke, yeah.
Pretty tight these days, aren't they? The jerseys the players wear. Skin tight. Knock on here. A knock on by Wielden. He's furious, and Huddersfield celebrate the mistake.
The nightmare continues for Darryl Powell. He's got to be scratching his head. Why on earth did he want to try to offload there? It was quite obvious that Scott Wielden, in an impossible position, tries to offload. Why?
Back inside, loose forwards.
Yeah, it was just a loose carry by Scott Wielden.
I don't know whether Darryl Powell has any dogs at home, but if he has, take them to a relative.
Just over halfway with Robinson, and here's Cudjoe.
Now look at the difference when you get the wide span. You'll see the difference between the two sides. Look how deep the Giants are. We haven't seen that from Castleford. Oh, and it's another error.
Greg Kopchak is saying to James Child, the referee, that ball was stolen from me. You make your own mind up. I think he's got a point.
Yep. No doubt about it. Should have been a penalty.
Well, I think he's actually trying to tackle him. I think the ball's come out as a result of that tackle, but I don't think there's a deliberate steal in there. And that's probably why the referee's played on.
You're very kind.
Well, there are times, Stuart, when we were glad when you retired.
Castleford back in possession. They're hounding them, aren't they, Huddersfield? This defence will be pleasing Paul Anderson. James Clare had nowhere to go there. Ben Roberts trying to get away. Robinson low down. Ooh, and then he went the wrong way across the back of the ruck then. He gave the referee no alternative but to blow for the penalty.
And he'll have to go up for treatment. There's blood dripping away from the forehead.
Yeah, you've got to clear the ruck. Failed to do that. Now, this is where the likes of Finn and Gale, and even to look towards Justin Carney to say, look, don't bother staying out wide. Come in as an extra forward, because the forwards aren't making any impact. Carney might be able to do that.
And Wheeldon again will take it forward. The point Steve-O makes is well made. They are very flat in attack, the Tigers. Both sides, hardly any depth. Here they come now. And Dawn did well to hang on to that. He's got some pace. Oh, he's done him again. Carney was going for the outside, and McGilvray just bundled him over the line into touch.
Well, if he's the tank on the flank, the challenger's doing pretty good in front of him, isn't it? It's a great battle between the two, and I like to see a man take it on the outside. OK, it doesn't come off, but it was good rugby, and it has been successful for Castleford over the last 15, 16 months here. Moving the ball wide and scoring out wide. Just great defence there from Jermaine McGilvray. I think the Giants have really got him up for this game. Set him a personal target of outplaying the man in front of him. And if he could do that, I think they know that will go a long way to securing 2 more points for them.
Well, the media and the press, especially Phil, they really have made a big thing about the size of Justin Carney, and I'm sure that Paul Anderson, the Giants coach, would have said to him, you know, they think you can't handle this bloke. Well, there's one way to show, and that's do it out on the field of play, and McGilvray's doing that.
Wardle for Huddersfield. And they will come back inside, will Huddersfield, with Ellis and Grix and Cudjoe. And McGilvray, the try scorer, hugging the try saver, wanting to be the try scorer, was hugging the line. Grix, and this now is Jack Hughes.
And this is where, you know, when you're leading 12-0, you get the likes of Danny Brough, maybe a little chip over the top. Something a little bit different. And
well, that was different.
No, it wasn't. We've had it all night. It's called an error.
Yeah, but it was different from Danny Brough. He flicked that ball in, and, well, they gobbled it up, didn't they, Castleford? Maybe he's hurt here in the effort.
Yeah, it went down awkward, that's for sure. Well, we still haven't had a dropout from underneath the sticks. A consecutive set of 6, which
tackle one, Liam, just wait a minute, yeah.
Inevitably gets you points.
That's the frustration from a coach. And Danny Brough will know that. That wasn't a controlled offload. He didn't have hold of the ball. He couldn't guide it to where he wanted it to go. It was a loose pass. He couldn't get the pass away to, I think it was Craig Hubie. And that's the frustration about this game for the coaches.
But Terry, you've also got to take into account, you look at the scoreboard, you're leading 12-0, you're in a good position. He's one of the best kickers in Super League. Why try to offload? Just punch the damn thing, turn this Tiger outfit around and around.
Well, they're on halfway. Dawn trying to disentangle himself from Wardle.
I think we're at a fascinating point of the game here already. 55 minutes and the 12-0. The next team to score, I think, has a massive bearing on it. And I don't know whether Castleford have got the patience. But if he tried to find a Giants player, I don't think he could kick it more accurately for the second time there. They really haven't been able to build any pressure over there with the kicks or gain any ground. The Giants just need to try and find one more score, and they've got this game won. But the Tigers won't go away, I suppose. They've built a resilience over the last 12 months. A little bit more, really, that makes them play tough, even when they're not playing well.
56 minutes gone. Huddersfield 12-0 up. Hubie gets the pass away despite the challenge from Nathan Massey. Brough almost through the gap. Millington hanging on to him. With help from Andy Lynch, down he goes. Lynch saying, my arm's trapped in, can't get away. Now he does. Brett Ferris, Wood and Hubie. Bit of a fumble there at the play of the ball. Here's Kyle Wood again. They're on the last.
I can't believe this. I really cannot believe it. And I don't think either coach can believe it either. They just run to the left-hand side and he's saying to himself, what about the kick, fellas?
kick on the front foot. That was a brilliant play of the ball. The last play, you would have been under no pressure whatsoever because it was that quick. The defensive line couldn't have got to you. You could have placed it where you want. Look at that, quick. Get up from dummy half, have a little look what's there. Too slow, pulls it back in, and Grant Millington gets hold of him.
And Leroy Cudjoe got hold of Liam Finn. They're working hard, the Giants, on nullifying the playmakers for Castleford. They really are. Carney's one, Finn the other.
Yeah, but they're so flat at the Tigers, Eddie. They're just playing into the hands of the defensive line. That's better. Try something a little bit different.
Here they come with Webster. Dumps the ball back to Oliver Holmes. Oh, movement though. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. There's 9 standing in a completely flat line, and now Huddersfield get the penalty.
Well, Daryl Powell said it's probably the worst 40 minutes. That was the first half that it's seen for what, 10 years, was it, or
20? He said.
20, yeah.
And some telling signs in that passage of play. How many Castleford players were actually getting behind the ball, offering themselves as an option as Jack Hughes comes up with that tackle? That is simple to defend against.
And if you just sort of think about it, I think Daryl Powell will be saying, well, I think the second 40 might be even worse than the first. Now, this is where you can just control the game and just shut the Tigers out completely. And I mean by just camping down there, putting all your effort in. When you get close, shove it into the in-goal area, please.
What about a drop goal, Steve? Would that not be a better option for you?
Well, with about 15 minutes ago, you probably see it from Danny Brough.
That's a Kumatai. He got the first try of this second half, only the second of the game. Brough. And here is Ellis again, and he gives it to Jack Hughes. Jack Hughes, who came here, wanted more games in the swap deal with Larne Patrick, who went to Wigan, and he's getting it. He's getting his wish. And Grix. Ooh, if he'd have passed that then.
Come on, Danny, where are you?
I think a Kumatai would have been over. Wood again.
Standing back is Brough.
Back to Brough. It's a drop goal attempt. Phil Clark called it, and Brough has missed it.
Oh. And he was under no pressure whatsoever. He positioned himself ever so well.
Well, that's the last chance saloon here now for Castleford. They won't get another chance to get something from this game, Eddie, because I think the next time the Giants will score, can they go to the other end here, find anybody here with a spark to get the side going? So disappointed. Oh, knows that.
Well, shades of the cup tie against St Helens here last year when Danny Brough had a pot shot at that goal and it was ruled out because it missed. Well, that's a great ball inside to Brett Ferris, but it came from a Castleford Tigers player.
We'll be quite happy. Will Ferris, just to slow things down. Well, we saw the expression on Paul Anderson's face. This was good defence. Good work there by Joe Wardle.
To be fair, Clare was only going one way if he didn't get rid of that ball, wasn't he? He was going over the touchline far side.
That's going to be a penalty. He said he dropped it, sir. I think he may have just had a little bit of a hand in there. Massey. You will see now. Yeah.
Hubie gave it away fairly easily when he saw the hand of Nathan Massey.
I'll get back to that point in regard to Paul Anderson. You know, he looked disgusted when they went for the 1 point. He knows that he just had to hit them, keep going, and that's getting a good kicking game working.
Brett Ferris into the last quarter of the match. 61 minutes gone. Brough and Hubie, and Ellis feeds Ty again.
And surprisingly, no one's gone down for his legs. He made a fool of them early.
Here's Ellis again. And Kyle Wood waits, bouncing on his toes, gives it back to Scott Griggs. He then finds Kopjak. Kopjak is going nowhere other than to ground, back under the sticks.
It's there is Danny Brough.
Brough's back there again. The pass somehow finds its way to a Huddersfield Giant. They've got a man on the overlap line. This is Aaron Murphy. Now then, will he give this, or will he hand it upstairs to the video referee to check a possible knock-on? He's not given it yet.
Last tackle, we've got a try.
They have a try. Yes, they're going back to how the ball came out.
Well, the Castleford side, they'd stopped. So they must have thought it was a knock-on.
Well, it's play on from going back there. Does the ball carrying arm touch the ground? No. Danny Brough picks the ball up cleanly. I think this will be a try. It's all about whether the ball has been passed after the tackle was complete. I think we'll see.
Were they looking at that one there, Stuart? Well, if it comes off Brett Ferris.
Yeah, it's gone backwards off the Castleford player anyway. I think he does Scott Griggs really well to keep the ball off the ground. If he touches his arm, it's continuing in a backward direction. I think that will be okay. Referees awarded the try, so for me, there's not certain proof that he's got that wrong. So it'll then just come down to this bit, which we've looked at it a couple of times. They're happy with that, and this will be a try.
Yes, Steve Ganson, Phil Bentham looking at the grounding by Aaron Murphy. So Huddersfield will increase the lead here, one would imagine. And they do.
Well, a very good example of a defensive side thinking that there's been a knock-on, and quite frankly, Castleford just shut down. A mental breakdown. That's been classified off Ferris as not being a knock-on. I'm not so sure. Either way, Murphy doesn't mess around it. Did Ferris, in the build-up to that, did he touch it, and did it go forward? We'll never know. It doesn't matter. It's up there on the scoreboard. It's another TRY for the Giants.
And Brough has missed with the conversion attempt, but a try for Aaron Murphy to mark his 70th appearance for the club. He got tries home and away against Cass in 2013, including 2 in the win here in July of that year, and a try last year in a 29-28 victory. So Murphy knows his way to the try line when the Tigers are in town.
Well, Cass is just soaking up too much pressure, and this is what you call playing with your eyes up. Danny Brough knows exactly where Aaron Murphy is. He's holding that wing position. Too many mistakes in this second half have cost Castleford. Too many errors. They're not winning the ruck. They've been battered into submission from the defensive efforts from Huddersfield.
Do you think all the effort that went into last week's magnificent win against Wigan has taken something out of Castleford?
I think perhaps more mentally than physically. They came here, remember before we kicked off, Eddie, I said the most important thing for Huddersfield was to ensure that Castleford did not score within the first 10-15 minutes. That confidence that they arrived here with, and they would have just followed on with the 7 tries they scored against Wigan. And in the back of their mind, if they'd have scored early, they'd have been difficult to stop. Full credit to the Giants' defence. They certainly nullified everything that's been at. But Daryl Powell will be not only unhappy with some of the defence, the build-up play has been non-existent. And when they've had the ball, they've been in one straight line. It's just been so easy for the Giants' defence.
Eddie, can I answer that question for you? If we would have turned up and Castleford were absolutely on fire, you'd say that they've took the confidence in from last week and they've come up with a brilliant performance.
Yes.
I think that if you look at it, and Daryl Powell won't, Danny Orr won't look at it, you can use that as an excuse. That is an excuse if you want to use it. They're well and truly beaten.
Yeah, nothing's going right.
No.
Nothing's going right for them.
Well, you saw the high kick there.
Well, the kicking tee has been sent on here. There's the Tigers' touch back for Danny Brough to pounce on it. And the kicking tee's brought on, and I think they fancy making it 18-0. Look at the penalty count and the pattern of penalties that have gone each way. 3 in a row now for Huddersfield.
Well, there's only been 2 games where the team have been kept scoreless this year in Super League. They've both been on this ground so far. One is when Huddersfield played at home and failed to score a point in round 1. And this is potentially the next occasion. I know there's still 15 minutes just less to go in this game, but the way Huddersfield are defending, you'd have to think that they're going to keep the Tigers out here. They're going to take something special from Castleford to get a point. It's a great kick here now. It gives them an 18-point comfort lead. And I think what'll be fascinating now is whether Huddersfield can concentrate for the remaining 14 minutes here now. and defend as well as they have so far.
Well, he looks happy enough, Paul Anderson, and of course a man in his 3rd season in charge. He's had his toughest start to the season. Thankfully it all came good for him here last week, and so far tonight it's equally as good, and his team are defending well, as Scott Griggs did then from the run of Scott Moore.
Well,
Liam Finn.
That was a good short kick-off as well. At least they showed enthusiasm there. I'm afraid for far too many passages in this particular game, I'm afraid they've lacked that enthusiasm, but maybe the scent of a try might just lift them.
Might do. Moore to Lynch, Junior Moores, Gale, Dawn, Channing. Good tackle, Danny Brough. Clare at dummy half. Back it comes this way. Lynch gets it away to Junior Moores. He gives it then to Finn. Finn then gives it to Holmes. There's Dawn. Now it's with Webster. Big job here for Cudjoe to do, and he does it. Into the last tackle we go then for Castleford. Liam Finn, long pass. Gale, back to Gale again. Out the back door to Channing. Channing then over the top, and James Clare, and again Huddersfield's defence stands as firm as a rock.
Yeah, it's been a highlight of this particular game by the Giants' sliding defence. They really have worked as a unit. That'll be said of their opposite tonight. This has been an absolute nightmare for Darryl Powell. Also, wouldn't be taken too kindly with all the Tigers fans who, well, they were glowing, weren't they, about 7 tries against Wigan last week. And quite frankly, I think they'd had one effort. I think it was Oliver Holmes in that first half that looked about their only chance that they had put any points on the board.
Warrington leads tomorrow, live at 7:30 on Sky Sports 1. Warrington third, leads top, and with their 100% record thus far intact. We've got exactly 12 minutes of this match remaining. And it's a forward pass that the referee, James Child, has called here against Huddersfield. 12 minutes for Castleford to try and score a point on this ground. The last time that Huddersfield nilled at their opponents, Wakefield here, September 2013. So 18 months or thereabouts. Of course, they were nilled themselves in round 1 to the Black and Whites of Hull, 19-0.
To be fair, Huddersfield will be happy with the fact that the way that Danny Brough and Jamie Ellis have really been so prominent against their opposite, Liam Finn and Luke Gale. Neither of the Tiger halfbacks have really shone tonight. Mainly due to the defence, of course, but well, they just lack so much enthusiasm, don't they? I mean, look how that defence from the Giants are coming out on the angle. They're turning them into one out.
I wonder if Paul Anderson has sent the message downstairs that that's forward a mile.
That was so far forward.
It was. I was just going to say, I wonder if Paul Anderson sent the message down via his assistants. Look, your big challenge now for the next 11 minutes is keep that 0 against Castleford.
They would have talked about that at half-time, Eddie. Players do that all the time. When you sense that you've got the team going backwards, you've got to start the second half very well, like they did. When Huddersfield came out the second half, they ran with purpose, they were winning those collisions and obviously forcing Darryl Powell's men into mistakes. And this isn't the Castleford that we've seen this year at all last year. They were the best, or the best performers last year, Castleford. They were incredible, classy Cass. And it was all because of Darryl Powell and what he did. And he's got a very good side. But it's not been their game. They've got to dust themselves down. They're beaten in this game and they've got to pick themselves up for next week.
And in mitigation for Castleford, it's taking time to gel. It's taking time to settle. There are some new players. There's a lot of players moved on. That was one of them. Craig Hubie. Jamie Ellis, who scored a try earlier in this match for Huddersfield, is another. A lot of players have moved along. Shenton's out injured with a dislocated shoulder, the skipper. You know, it's taking time to settle in 2015.
I think the shot we saw then of Michael Shenton, the skipper, Eddie, is very important. He only missed 2 games last year. On both occasions, they got absolutely hammered by about 40 points. I think we sometimes forget how important a player can be to a team, not just with his tackles and runs he makes, but his presence and the voice, the influence he has on the side. And I've no doubt that Michael Shenton has a huge influence and impact on just how Castleford perform.
Yeah, you're right. They missed those matches against Wigan. In June, they lost that one 46-6, and then they lost in August against Warrington 48-10. So you're spot on. Here's a bit of encouragement for the Tigers. One-on-one ball steal. That's why they're back in possession here.
Yeah, it was good work by Scott Moore. But it's far too late, isn't it? Look at that scoreline, and the Giants know that they're coasting.
Ian Finn is away to Oliver Holmes. Here's now Scott Moore again. This is Scott Wheeldon. Scott Moore again goes down the right channel with Gale. Gale with a flat pass. They're just waiting for them, the Huddersfield defenders. They're standing absolutely firm. Channing had no way through then. Gale again with a high crossfield kick into the rain that's now falling here in Huddersfield. That ball's knocked forward, so it's a zero tackle coming up here for Scott Griggs. In fact, it will be the turnover because they don't get across the advantage line. 9 to go. Huddersfield look like they're on their way to the second win of the season. Their second win inside a week.
Yeah, and fully deserved as well. Paul Anderson and Daryl Powell in that first 40 minutes. Both coaches disappointed, but it's been a different situation in this second stanza. And I must say, this guy's had a big game. A lot of pressure on him, Jermaine McGilvray, but he has soaked up all the punishment that everyone thought that Justin Carney would give to him tonight. But he's been a real hero, and so has the hooker Luke Robinson. Badly injured, blood streaming down when he came back onto the field of play. His performance has been magnificent, but you've got to put it down to the fact that Danny Brough, Jamie Ellis have completely outplayed their opposite, Finn and Gale. In a very poor performance, I'm afraid.
Brough with a long kick. That's going to be easy for James Clare. Let's go down to Bill.
Eddie, I think the best performers from the Castleford area tonight have been their supporters, because they have stuck with them through thick and thin, and it has been thin tonight for the most part from their team. But the Tigers fans, and Darryl Powell should say, was paying tribute to them at half-time, saying they deserve better. But they're still singing their hearts out for their team.
And they will be in the next 2 home games that they've got coming up in round 6 and 7. Salford and Hull are next to visit the Menderhose jungle after this trip to Huddersfield. You know, all is not lost by any stretch of the imagination. And the supporters who had such a great time in 2014, I'm sure will stick by this team. Webster's lost that ball forward, another mistake.
And again, good work by the Huddersfield defence. McGilvray making sure he put his body on the line.
Castleford have not won away from home in the last 7 Super League outings going back to last year. It's a pretty dismal record on the road.
Got a belt of this fella, Jermaine McGilvray.
Well, all right, he's coped with Carney, hasn't he? And but he's also been all over the place.
And you know, not many opportunities with ball in hand, but what a job he's done on this fella.
But you see the rain coming down on, and probably you could say that, are they guilty of overplaying? Was that pass ever on in these conditions? Would you give Webster the ball so close to a Huddersfield defender when you know as soon as he gets it, he's going to get clattered?
Well, you have to try when you're 18-0 down. I don't think you can read too much into a game or be too critical on the other side here.
But I'm on about the play.
Yeah, well, I think teams play differently, don't they, in the last 10 minutes when they're 18 points to 0 down than they would. You know, obviously, for the remainder of the game, or if the match is still competitive.
Well, I think we'll see something from Danny Brough, because he realises this game is won. Maybe the little chip over the top, maybe he'll throw the dummy. He's got the ability, he's got the ball.
And he gives it to Ellis, who in turn gives it to Hughes. That was a no-look pass, and he's lucky to get away with it. Griggs applied the brakes and got to it. And then Webster got to him, nearly ripped Griggs' head off in the process, Jake Webster.
Well, he must have fancied his ears, because he tried to pinch them. Good work.
Oh, well done, Cudjoe, because that was well claimed.
Got it.
Well claimed. Yes.
We've got one.
I thought it was drop goals you were addicted to, not dropouts.
Calm down, Steve-O.
Anything with a drop, Steve-O's happy about. Drop
My
goal,
word,
drop
yeah.
out, doesn't matter.
Well, isn't that perfect timing as well from Cudjoe? We go for the short one. Doesn't pay off.
Well, that was a gift for Wardle.
4 drives, Danny Brough, 1 point.
Oh, see? Drop goal, drop out, doesn't matter. They're going the short side. No, they won't. There's the drop ball.
Drop ball.
Like blankety blank.
Well, there's been a hint of basketball in this game, I'm afraid.
I don't think either coach will be cracking open the champagne tonight somehow. But Huddersfield will be happy enough that they've got the second win behind them. They go 5th tonight with this.
I think the biggest problem for Daryl Powell is the lack of enthusiasm, but also they have not been inventive. They've not created anything. And after their display against Wigan last week, where they were just unbelievable, they've just completely lost their mojo.
Gale gets it away to Millington. That was well claimed by Dawn. And another beautiful pass to Clare. Oh, he's in touch again. Great defence once more. The Huddersfield defence tonight takes many of the honours. I know they've scored 3 tries, but the defence has been absolutely superb.
Yeah, both Murphy and McGilvray have been superb. It's always a good position to find a winger and say, come on, try to go around me. Execution superb. He knows there have been scrappy times within this game, but he also knows that their defence has been solid. They've snuffed them, and when you keep the opposition down to 0, that's always a good sign.
But isn't that composure from both wingers from Huddersfield this evening? Not sinking in, not just making that mistake of jamming in and trying to stop that play, buying a bit of time, pushing him to the sideline. Come up with some good efforts in defence. McGilvray and Murphy.
It's Ellis, and here is Michael Lawrence. Did I tell you earlier it's his 170th Huddersfield appearance tonight? Wardle, he's shouting at them to come and support him. He had to take the tackle. Kyle Wood. Ellis again. Attacking the line. Back it comes to Grix. Grix then gives it to Cudjoe. And Cudjoe to Jermaine McGilvray, who crowns a perfect night for him with the last try of the match. 20th consecutive appearance on the wing, 20 tries last year. He was Huddersfield's top try scorer, all of them in Super League. The 26-year-old England Knights international. He's kept Justin Carney oh so quiet. He's been big in defence, he's been quick in attack, and he gets the last try of the match.
Well, you can see it's going this way, but before that, Danny Brough had stood himself out on the left-hand side. The Castleford defence, they thought it was going to be Brough, but it didn't. It came Ellis's way, and what a night for this winger. Fully deserved. Tremendous, and not surprising, he wants to celebrate big time. He's had a fantastic night as this winger.
Very often it's what players do in the middle of the field that create the space for players like Jermaine McGilvray out wide. I thought the pass from Kyle Wood was excellent at the play of the ball, and then the little look and delay by Jamie Ellis on the inside before then releasing the players on the right-hand side. And at the start of this game we talked about the tries that Huddersfield keep scoring down their left. Well, tonight we're starting to see there is a threat on the right, and Jermaine McGilvray is the end point of that.
Danny Brough to try and add the extras, trying to drift it between the H's. No, he doesn't manage to do that. But you know, when you consider that they lost their round 1 match here by 19 points to 0, I think they will believe they've squared the ledger here tonight. 22-0 against a team like Castleford Tigers. It's a super win for the Giants, this.
It's absolutely brilliant, and with any team that's got the likes of Scott Grix, Jermaine McGilvray, Danny Brough in it, Jamie Ellis, Luke Robinson, they'll score some points. they will score some points, but that big fat 0 will please Paul Anderson.
I would think so. Crabtree, well, he's leaving him in his wake. And Wheeldon had to come in and help out Channing to bring him down. Ferris releases the pass as he goes down. Here goes Kyle Wood. Maybe it wasn't the last try, but they've got a long way to go in the next 20 seconds. They're capable. And they're keeping the ball alive. And Ferris, well, he knows that the clock is nearly down.
Come and get me. That'll do it.
You can hear the crowd counting the numbers down. Tried to play the ball late on. There it is, all over. All over. Paul Anderson's team win.
I think Danny Brough knocked off to the play the ball as well, but it didn't matter.
Penalty that, Steve-O.
Well, that's a tremendous effort by McGilvray, and you notice the first man to him to shake his hands was Justin Carney. Well, after the big win against Wigan last week, Castleford must have come here cock a hoop. They really must, but Huddersfield snuffed them out. 22 points to 0 final score, and a very good performance. 6-0 at half-time, and they've scored 3 tries in the second half as well. Great win for them then. Let's get the views of Brian and John at the touchscreen.
Yeah, thanks very much, Ed. I think it's good for the Huddersfield Giants that they were able to back up that first victory of the season last week against Widnes. Castleford are going to have some questions in that club. What a great win they had against the Wigan Warriors, and they capitulated tonight. 6-0 at half-time in a game that will not be remembered among Super League's best. Akuma ties try at the start of the second half. 12-0 to the Huddersfield Giants, and essentially, John, game over.
Yeah, it was, yeah. And this is the first try straight off the back of half-time. It's Danny Brough that's the main contributor to this. We'll just stop it there. You've got Oliver Holmes again has missed a soft tackle, but it's just that's the problem with Castleford this evening. They've gone from the penthouse to the basement in 5 days. Mentally, I don't know what's happened to them.
And doesn't it sound like a strange thing to say? 12-0 to Huddersfield, but you felt Castleford were still out of the game. They threw a bit at Huddersfield. You got examples of some Huddersfield defending.
Yeah, they look very weak in defence. I thought they look very weak in defence. This is Huddersfield's defence. This is excellent. Have a look at this point here. You've got Jermaine McGilvray. He's having to rescue a situation, bought himself some time, his team some time, and able to rescue what was one of very few threatening Castleford attacks in that second half. I think Luke Gale and Liam Finn need to look at themselves after tonight's performance, having been so good at home 5 days ago. Yeah,
compare and contrast that clip with what we saw last week against the Wigan Warriors, where they were putting on a short side, 4-on-4, and they got such a great short side plays, and that this is getting run over the sideline, which happened a few times tonight.
Luke Dawn found himself running diagonally, didn't he, and cutting out the space, the channels from the centre and the winger, really running them out of room, giving them very little option. That is down in part to some smart defence from Huddersfield. They'll have done plenty of work in the intervening time period between last Sunday and tonight, and looking at the way that Castleford set up that attack and looking to push from the inside, don't break their defensive line, give up the space where it was needed. That clip showed you that Jermaine McGilvray, even though he had numbers on the outside, there was a clear 2-on-1 with Dawn, with ball in 2 hands and going at some pace. He kept him on his inside and just kept ushering him towards the sideline, bought himself some time, and allowed, on that occasion, Leroy Cudjoe to recover to help him out in the end. That's down to some good homework, some sensible video review, and a bunch of players that are willing to take on some coaches' ideas.
And a very poor Castleford performance. We might get some reasons for that Castleford performance from Luke Dorn, but first we'll hear from the man of the match, Jermaine McGilvray. He's downstairs with Bill.
Jermaine, to nil aside in Super League takes some doing, so that's got to be the most pleasing thing about tonight.
Yeah, very pleasing. It was a very tough game. You know, we're 0-0 for large periods of the first half. So credit to our boys. We dug deep. We defended a lot on our try line as well, and we got there in the end with a good win.
You had a fantastic duel with Justin Carney. Was that one of the targets tonight? I mean, he's 6 tries this season. He was obviously the danger man.
Yeah, I watched his game last week against Wigan. He tore him to pieces. You know, I knew it was going to be a hard task. I've played against him before. He's a wrecking ball, but we had a good contest. I probably came out on top a bit today, but it's always good to play against a winger like that.
Is that an enjoyable duel?
Yeah, it is. I know it's going to be tough, so I have to be on my A game, and and I'm glad I was tonight, and I took care of him.
After the start the Giants had to this season, back-to-back wins, life must feel a bit better.
Yeah, everyone thought all the boys' heads were down and stuff. I know we lost. We went out of the races in all 3 of the games, but you know, the banter and everything in camp was all good, you know. But to get a win, it's even better.
Well done tonight, man of the match.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Let's hear from the Castleford Tigers captain, Luke Dornan. It's just hard to figure that this is a side that put 7 tries on Wigan last week and cleaned them out, and you've performed like that.
Well, yeah, it's just horrendous, really. I don't think we ever really got going. We were pretty much soft in every department, and you know, even to a point, I don't even think we really got that outplayed. It was a very disappointing game. I feel sorry for everybody that had to watch that, to be honest.
Was it after the Lord Mayor's show, maybe? Was it last week's effort against Wigan catching up with you?
No, I don't think so, because previous weeks we'd been there or thereabouts, and we'd almost got our wins up, and we wanted to use Wigan as a platform, but you know, obviously it was just a bit of false hope for us a little bit at the moment, so we've got to get back and we've got to work real hard.
Thanks, Luke.
Thank you, sir.
Well, he's bemused, is Luke Dorn, and we'll be hearing from Darryl Powell a little bit later on in the programme. I'm sure he will be equally upset with what Castleford have produced, but Huddersfield, good winners, up to 5th in the Super League table tonight, courtesy of that win. Just shows you what 2 wins do for you in this year.
Ladbrokes, proud sponsor of the Super League on Sky Sports.
I love Cheltenham more than Christmas.
We hear you, Ruby. You're excited. We've gone Cheltenham mental. And to prove it, we're giving you money back as a free bet if your horse finishes 2nd or 3rd in the JLT Novices Chase. There's some great jumpers in this race, like this beauty. Or this one. Woolly blinkers. And this one has never looked better. But don't worry, whichever jumper you choose, it's money back if they finish 2nd or 3rd in the JLT. Pop into a shop or bet online now. We hear you.
After a hard 9 seconds work, all Usain wants to do is kick back and game online. But not whether it's a hibernating sofa bear. Yeah, you better keep walking. Ah, not in there. She'll be up all night. Streaming. All there. Does this man ever knock? However, because Usain has got Virgin Media's superfast fibre broadband, they can all get online wherever they are in the house. As long as they do it quietly and with consideration for others.
Get the Big Kahuna Bundle. With the UK's best widely available broadband for streaming, TiVo with HD at no extra cost, plus service and repairs included. Join at virginmedia.com.
Gambleaware.co.uk.
Welcome to William Hill Vegas, with exclusive slots, exclusive jackpots, and all your favourite table games, including roulette and blackjack. What would you do with £1 million? Play our Vegas Millions games for the chance to win our exclusive £1 million jackpot. Any spin can win, and you could become our next millionaire. Go to williamhill.com/millions.
Holidayers keep on holidaying. Growers keep on growing. Dads keep on dadding. Learners keep on learning. Explorers keep on exploring. Dreamers keep on dreaming. Don't change your life, change your bank. 123 current account customers earn 3% interest on balances between £3,000 and £20,000 and get preferential rates on their cash ISAs, helping you save for the bigger things in life. Simple, personal, fair. It's what a bank should be.
From Amazon Prime, who brought you Golden Globe winner Transparent.
I don't believe there's a better world than this one. You find the justice you can in this life, not the next one. I'm Detective Bosch, LAPD Hollywood Division. This is the work I do. You do what you have to do. Right behind you. Partner. Someone broke nearly every bone in that little boy's body. I can't let that go.
Bosch. Stream all episodes. Only on Amazon Prime.
Push, push, push. Just drive flat out. Okay, just go for it. pushing, keep pushing. Okay, Lewis, it's hammer time. 2014 World Champion.
Formula One returns, starting with the Australian Grand Prix, live only on Sky Sports F1.
Ladbrokes, proud sponsor of the Super League on Sky Sports.
Well, a good night at the office for the Huddersfield Giants. They've won by 22 points to nil. The 22 points will doubtless have pleased Paul Anderson, and the 0 against Castleford will doubtless have upset Daryl Powell. Let's hear from the two coaches now. They're with Bill.
Daryl, you were scratching your head at half-time trying to work out the reasons for that first 40 minutes. What about overall?
Oh, it was pretty poor from us, wasn't it? You know, I think I put myself in Sean Wayne's corner this week. You know, we were poor from start to finish. Couldn't really find our game. I thought both teams were in the first half. Huddersfield applied some pressure to us in the second half, and we just never got out of first gear, to be honest. So, you know, we obviously got to find out the reasons for that. But really bitterly disappointing effort, and you know, I think it's pretty difficult to pick players who've been on top of the game today. So yeah, disappointing. I need to find a way through this. Obviously, it's not been a great start to the season. I thought we'd turned the corner last week, and today shows we've still got some issues.
It wasn't a factor that everybody was so G'd up after beating Wigan that it was hard to lift back to that height.
Oh, I don't know. We've been through a fair bit of that in the past. Obviously, it's a pretty new team, but you know, we've been through all that where we've had elation one week, and the week after we've generally handled it okay. So no, I don't think so. I just think there was a real lack of application across the board today, and you know, they beat us pretty much everywhere. I don't think we got on top in any area, and obviously we've got to learn some lessons, and we need to do it quick, because you know the tough games keep rolling round. We've got Salford next week. That's going to be tough. You know, they'll be watching that tonight, rubbing their hands together. So, you know, boys got to find they've got to find a little bit more than what they delivered tonight.
Thanks, Daryl. Thank you very much. Opposite number, Paul Anderson, and nilling anybody in Super League is very satisfying, I would imagine.
Imagine what we could do if we didn't keep dropping the ball. You've seen tonight what we're capable of against a very, very good team. And at half time, I just said to the fellas, I said, you've had a 2-to-1 tackle count against you on your try line. They've had 2-to-1 possession on try line opposed to you, and I think it was 50-something plays to 20 plays. And just the resolve we showed again that we were having to do, but we just composed. We completed the set. We talked at half time about just completing, and we knew we could get them. And obviously, the composure showed in the end.
It's fair to say you put yourselves under a bit of pressure in that first 40 minutes, invited that defensive work.
Yeah, and I think we've played against a very, very good footballing team that did a number on a very, very good defensive team last week. And I think the job that Kieran's done with the boys defensively, I think he's done a real good job. And I thought the players just reacted to it, and they were honest in what they did, and they just worked the balls off for each other.
Well, thanks for that. Just finally, it's still not. I mean, it's back-to-back wins, but there is definitely room for improvement.
Like I said, just imagine what we're capable of if we can actually get up to 80-90% completions. First half we were 50%, and gifting 50% possession away, it's going to make things hard for you. And I thought physically we came through, and we just talked about staying patient and came away with it. It's a simple game. You just got to run hard and tackle and make your tackles at the end of the day, and I thought that's what we did.
Thanks, Paul.
Cheers, Paul.
Cheers.
Well, Paul Anderson obviously caught up in the excitement of the moment. Apologies if you caused any offence with the use of words during the course of that interview. But his team are up to 5th in the table now. They go above Wakefield on points difference. Of course, Wakefield and the rest all have to play over the weekend. Right, let's hear from someone who was in the thick of the battle from start to finish, and he's got the scars to prove it. Luke Robinson is with Bill.
You come back after 2 games out, Luke. You get cleaned out, suspicion of concussion. It wasn't. Stitches to come. An eventful return, you'd have to say.
Yeah, eventful. To be fair, I always seem to play better when I split myself. It means I'm getting stuck in. But yeah, it's just nice to be back on the field. Whether I get split and get knocked out, as long as we win, I play all right. Then that's all that matters.
And it wasn't the prettiest of games. You had to do an awful lot of defending, mainly because you made life hard for yourself in the first half, especially.
You know, probably a game that really You know, similar to my face, so it's not the prettiest at the moment, if it ever has been. But yeah, it won the prettiest games. But you know, especially with us going in, you know, the first 4 games only getting 1 win. It's just about gaining a little bit of momentum and getting wins. I mean, who cares if it's not a pretty game as long as you get the 2 points and start building, and that's hopefully what we're going to do from here.
With the new structure, with the fact that, you know, if you're in the bottom 4, life's not so rosy, is that already on people's minds, do you think? You don't want to be hanging around down there in that part of the table?
I don't think it's spoke about. I don't think it's conscious on your mind, but I think subconsciously it is. I just think there seems to be a bit of a different feel somehow. There seems to be a bit more of a nervous energy around probably not only our camp, but everybody else's. You know you've got to be in that top 4 to win it. And you know if you're in that bottom 4, you're going to be in the middle, you know, that middle group of teams. So yeah, it does. It brings a little bit of anxiety with it, but it's something. If you manifest it in the right way, then it can work in your benefit.
Thanks, Luke. Good to see you back.
Great, thank you.
Thanks a lot for that.
Yeah, good to see Luke Robinson back. Effervescent little chap, isn't he? And boy, he has got some pain to go through over the next 24 hours. Well, the coach there, Paul Anderson, talking about tackles, missed tackles, and the percentage going the other way, Phil. This sums it all up, doesn't it?
Well, if you look there, the 310 tackles made by the Huddersfield side and just 6 missed. He made reference to Kieran, one of his coaching staff, Kieran Patel. If he's responsible for the defence, then I guess he'll be a very satisfied man tonight when he drives home after a day's work there, because to miss 6 tackles and make over 300 is a great achievement. Again, against a team who generally like to move the ball around and actually caused Wigan a lot of problems last week. I thought it was a sensational second half, and they're starting to make a habit, the Giants, 2 weeks in a row now, of finishing games stronger than their opponents. They did it last week against Widnes. They've done it again tonight here against the Tigers. That's a great habit to build, and I'm sure a nice pattern they'll want to continue.
And you look at those stats as well, that, you know, they're not too bad from a Castleford point of view. They tackled their hearts out, not too many misses, but they didn't have a spark at the other end of the field, did they?
I would have said, and early in the game we saw, the timing seemed to be out, didn't it, with their attack? The player wasn't in the right position. They weren't hitting the hole at the right time. Here we are, one of the 2 breaks when they made, and I guess that was the difference in the class. When Huddersfield made a break, and there weren't many made in this game, they converted it into points. They really did do well. I think, though, if you're a Castleford supporter going home tonight, you have to console yourself with the fact that, OK, although they've lost 3 games, away at Catalan, away at St Helens, and away again now here at Huddersfield, they never won at any of those 3 grounds last year, and yet at the last game of the year had a chance to finish at the top of the Super League table. So they shouldn't be too disheartened, although they haven't played particularly well. And I think a lot of credit must go to Jermaine McGilvray, because the way he closed down early in the game, they put a big hit on Justin Carney, and I think it set the tone for the night. Whatever Carney was going to bring at them, they were going to have something strong enough to cope with it, and I think that really did help the Giants with the defensive attitude.
Huddersfield have built on the victory they scored last week against the Widnes Vikings. You have to say that Castleford, I'm trying to make an excuse for them here because they're a better side than we've seen tonight, did that victory against Wigan, and it was a magnificent win. It wasn't, I know Wigan were off the pace, but Castleford were brilliant last week. Did that take that much out of them? They couldn't replicate it here this evening.
Well, we're all saying that now, aren't we? Because they haven't played well. And